One perk of being a well-established automaker is having access to a large inventory of older models that have since been phased out. This was recently demonstrated by Ford's reintroduction of the Maverick and the Bronco. Toyota, the leading automaker in the world, understands that the revival of obsolete car models can tap into consumers' nostalgia and evoke memories of the past, generating excitement and interest in the brand, which is why it's bringing back the Century. So, what would be the difference? The comeback of the Century will be in the form of an SUV. The announcement also comes after Rolls-Royce saw tremendous success with the Cullinan launch. And in Japan, the Toyota Century is seen as the equivalent of a Rolls-Royce. Will the reincarnation of the Century prove to be fruitful? Keep watching to learn more about the return of the Japanese Rolls-Royce. If you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, click the subscribe button, and hit that bell to get notified of new videos. It really helps us out so we can keep making videos you love. Making its debut in 1967, the Toyota Century was the first domestically produced Japanese luxury chauffeur car. The Century is a luxurious vehicle largely unfamiliar outside of Japan, as it was only sold there. It was designed to cater to the wealthy and powerful Japanese who wanted to drive a top-of-the-line Japanese-made car rather than one from Germany or America. The Century was named in honor of Tsukichi Toyota, the company's founder, on his 100th birthday. The royal family of Japan is rumored to have 5 Century cars, which they still use. Its relaunch is considered a significant event as it's referred to as the company's halo product. When it was first introduced, the Century had a starting price of 20 million yen, equivalent to $152,000, making it one of the most exclusive cars ever offered by the company. It provided an unparalleled driving experience in the 1960s and became a cultural icon in Japan, remaining in production for 30 years before undergoing a redesign. Aside from the 50-liter 48-valve V12 engine and unnoticeable modifications, the second generation was no different from the first. It was on sale for another 21 years after being introduced as Japan's first and only front-engine, rear-drive V12 vehicle. Despite being smaller than the older version, the rumored upcoming Century will be an SUV form factor. True to its DNA, it'll still be large and give its passengers that luxurious feel. The SUV's dimensions are expected to be 76 inches in width, 69 inches in height, and a curb weight of approximately 4,850 pounds. This makes the Century a bit longer and a little shorter in height compared to the J300 Land Cruiser. Based on spy photos and unofficial renderings, the front of the Century SUV draws significant inspiration from its former sedan counterpart. The expansive main grille has been accentuated with chrome and has a simple design, while the rectangular headlights appear to have multiple LED elements for a high-end luxury appearance. The flat yet defined hood of the older model seems to have been carried over to the new SUV, while the front bumper of the latter seems blunter and features a taller central air intake. If the SUV is truly based on the sedan, it will likely have a long hood, making it even more imposing. One interesting difference is that the SUV has been given Toyota logos, while the Century sedan bears the brand's emblems. Each vehicle is hand-painted, and only a select few in Japan are skilled enough to achieve the desired black mirror finish. The Century is the epitome of quality and luxury in Japan, but it is also discreet, in keeping with the cultural value of not standing out too much. Known as the Japanese Rolls-Royce, the Century SUV is designed to provide ample space and soundproofing for passengers. The vehicle will have distinctive features that set it apart from others. Those seated in the rear will benefit from a huge 26-inch screen, a refrigerator, and other premium amenities. The Toyota Century SUV is designed to be both luxurious and understated. It's made to be broad and low so people in traditional Japanese clothing, like kimonos, can elegantly get in and out of the back seat. The seats are lined with wool, as leather is seen as less dignified in Japan. Like the older Century sedan, Toyota may aim to keep the interior of the upcoming SUV free from excessive visual distractions. Unlike many other modern luxury vehicles, the Century has traditionally used a particular breathable fabric instead of leather. However, the third-generation model may come with leather upholstery, high-quality wood trim, and Century branding. So it does appear that the new Century is still luxurious as ever. But how will it perform? The Toyota Century SUV is said to be a 3.5-liter V6 hybrid, likely built on the TNGA platform, adapted from the Highlander or Grand Highlander. Best Car Web says the vehicle must adapt to current trends as an increasing number of upscale business clients and others now opt for SUVs as their mode of transportation. Toyota's goal is to design a structure that allows the construction of both internal combustion engine and battery electric vehicle models while keeping its options open regarding electrification. According to Best Car Web, the Toyota Century SUV will be available in two variations, one for personal use and another for chauffeur transport. It's expected to go on sale in Japan in August and could have a starting price roughly 3 times higher than the base Land Cruiser. With a predicted cost of around $76,000 to $114,000, the luxurious vehicle, referred to as black paint, will surprisingly fall under budget-friendly SUVs. That amount is close to the average transaction price when purchasing a luxury vehicle in the US, and the Century is as luxurious as it gets. But can you even get your hands on one of these? Nikkei Asia says Toyota may export this flagship SUV to other markets. This would not be the first time the Century is sold outside of Japan, as the second-generation model was previously available in Europe and Asia in limited quantities. However, it's unclear if it will be made available for export to other countries. Despite the estimated prices being comparable to the new Lexus LX 600, it's doubtful that Toyota will introduce it to the North American market as a competitor. It's also worth noting that the second-generation Century was Toyota's only V12 car, and in Europe, its power was increased to 300 horsepower. With only 3 generations in its 56 years of existence, the Century SUV is deeply tied to Japanese culture. There were reports that the continuation of the Century line was in question after the second generation. However, it was kept alive due to requests from influential individuals associated with Toyota. The Century SUV isn't necessarily a substitute for the Century sedan. Both vehicles may be offered simultaneously, providing Toyota with a model that can rival the luxury SUVs manufactured by European carmakers like Rolls-Royce and Lamborghini. The third-generation Century is unlikely to be discontinued soon after its release. However, it wouldn't be surprising for the company to introduce a new vehicle, specifically an SUV, to its roster, as Toyota is undergoing significant transformations to its primary vehicle lineup and its most well-known models. This was EV News Network with the upcoming Century SUV. What do you think about the revival of Japan's Rolls-Royce? Comment your thoughts below. Until the next video.